Hey everybody, George Moorhead, MLS Properties, and today we're going to talk a little bit about why do certain homes sell and other homes don't. That's what we're going to go into, and we're going to dive into a little deep today. We will keep it brief. Again, my name is George Moorhead with MLS Properties, and I've been practicing for about 27 years, and we've closed over 2,000 residential and commercial transactions. So we've got some great metrics and feedback to give you today to help you guys. So if your home is currently listed, and this is not a solicitation, if your home is currently listed and for some reason it's not selling, or you're looking at going on market and saying, yeah, it's time for me to sell my house, things to avoid to ensure that, hey, I get the highest and best opinion of buyers as they come through. And if you're a home buyer, and you're looking at, gosh, why are these homes still on the market? Why hasn't this home sold? Oh, there must be something wrong with it. Well, not necessarily, but we're going to address those also. So let's just go ahead and hit the road and let's go with what are the top 3 reasons that kind of drive whether a home sells or really why a home doesn't sell. There's really 3 top reasons. The first one is always price, okay? So with price, that's a fixer of a lot of things, right? The second one will be location. A location is going to have a huge impact on the value compared to, like last week when we talked about comparable properties, its value compared to other homes. The third one, really kind of either the style or the amenities that go with a house. Those many times are the top 3 things that people look at as to why didn't a home sell, right? Naturally, price being the one that has the greatest amount of impact. So let's talk about price. Many times we have, like we discussed last week, sentimental equity in our home. And the sad part is there's no value to sentimental equity, okay? So when we talk about price, that's probably, again, our number 1 that is going to say, hey, here we go, we've got, this house, and I think it's worth more than all of the other homes because of all these things, and we've lived in it and everything else. And sadly enough, that is not what resonates with the buyer, because again, market value, right, there's what 2 people, buyer and a seller, agree to what a value is. Now, some people say, well, George, I want this price. I want this one. That's fine. There's 2 things that'll fix that. One is either A, improving what is already existing, or time, right? Not time on market, time as in maybe next year, okay, for you to get that specific price. And understand that, market conditions are going to play a huge role in this, but price is probably our biggest one. So we're going to put that down on the top on the seller side, okay? So, and you might say, George, we got a T-bar here. Why do we have 2 different sides? There are some reasons based on the seller why the home hasn't sold. And then there are sides over here, maybe you chose the wrong agent, or the agent is not doing what they should be doing. And maybe that's just their business model of what would prevent it from selling. All right. So we'll go through those and, side by side. So the next one, remember when we talked about item number 3, is it, style or appeal? Is curb appeal. What does your home look like, right? So when somebody rolls up, a little more there. So that's an A, by the way. If somebody rolls up to your house and they do this little drive-by, they're looking at the curb appeal of your home, right? And so they want to know, what does that house look like on the outside? Is it inviting? Does it have color? Does it have, nice lines to the home? Does it balance well with the lot itself and its background and its neighboring homes, right? Which is also part of it. Your neighboring homes, if you're this McMansion that you've got, and then you have these older, not so well kept, grass is 3 feet tall, that's going to affect the value. It's going to affect the sales price and the perception of your neighborhood. And so again, that rolls into price, okay? So making sure that your curb appeal, make sure that you you trim up your plants, that you edge your grass, add a little bit of fertilizer, add a little bit of beauty bark or bark dust, or black topping, to give a nice color to it. If you need to make sure that, is the front of your house clean, doesn't need to be pressure washed. You have a bunch of, pine needles and other garbage boiling over from the last rainstorm that's stuck to your gutters, curb appeal. You have to stand back objectively and say, hey, what does that look like, right? Does that look like something, if I was driving by and I was looking for a home, is that something I would consider? And if not, you might want to make a couple of changes, all right? Okay. The next one is clutter, right? And we all get clutter, okay? If there's a flat surface, like it was really popular in the kitchen to have those, countertop, and then it drops down and you have that desk. That desk, gets, 8, 9, 10 inches deep, with stuff that just collects because it's flat surface, and it's awesome, right? In as much as our rooms, our clothes, our stuff, our personal items, things like this. And clutter makes a home feel smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's harder for buyers to visualize. And so if you have a buyer that's coming through and they can't see, themselves in the home, in other words, something we commonly say is a confused mind does nothing, all right? So they need to be able to bring clarity. You have to bring clarity to the buyer's eyes when they walk through. They can see how much counter space you've got, how large these rooms are. If you've got a dining room and it's seating for 12, hey, take a couple of the leaves out, take some of the chairs, go ahead and put them in storage. Make that room feel big so that they can walk around without having, if you think about it, husband and wife or couple or partners or whatever you are, you walk around side by side. Can you do that throughout your house? Okay. And if you can't, you need to rearrange things. You need to make sure that things are, basically in a manner in which it is the most appealing to a buyer. Getting rid of superfluous things. You're getting ready to move. Pack it up. Take the personal items off. Pack it up. Make those things go away so that it makes your home, sadly enough, you got to make your home look like you don't live in it, and then maintain it that way. Sorry, but that is the best way to appeal to your buyers so they can envision themselves in there. That means also many times getting rid of half of the furniture that you have in your home, all right? Okay, the next one is the true grit. You need to clean your house, right? So when we declutter, right, so we'll add a D on that one. The next one is clean, all right? And that's a deep clean, because what might be clean to you is not necessarily clean to somebody else. So have somebody else come in and clean your house, fully clean your house. Typical cost, you're going to look, $400, depending on the size of the house. It could be $1,000, okay? But here's the thing. Your house will be clean. It'll be spotless throughout. The tubs are clean around the kitchen sills, the kitchen windows, all of the windows through the house, your countertops, your floors, your hardwoods, in the little nooks and crannies and things like this. That gets cleaned. And do it after you declutter. Get all that stuff out and then clean. Do a deep clean. If you have really big windows and they're picturesque, right? Clean your windows. Why? Because people like to look through them. And if they see nice, clean windows, they're like, wow, that's amazing. Look at that out there versus, man, those are some dirty windows. That's going to be a lot of work, okay? That's not what you want. You don't want somebody to have the perception of work, okay? Make sure that you are making your house, again, as presentable as possible. Okay, now let's talk about smells. Smells go with clean. This is probably the next biggest thing. And actually, so all of these, I'm putting in order of what we hear from buyers as a complaint, as far as, why they are not interested in a house. Okay, so let's go with smells. All right, so we have smells. That could be a pet smell. You might be a smoker. You might have kind of a musty smell because you have a little bit of a moisture issue. Maybe you don't run your fans in your bathrooms long enough after a shower. You kind of get that musty smell. We've all walked into houses. I guarantee everybody's walked into a house and said, yeah, it doesn't quite smell right. We've all done it one way or another. Okay, if you've got pets, understand you probably don't smell it. If you smoke, you probably don't smell it, but other people coming in smell it. What does that translate to? Dollars. Why? Because now your home has become what we call not a home, but a fixer. Well, now I got to paint, and now I got to take out this carpet and the pad. Do I have to seal the floor? I get that one all the time. Do we have to seal the floor? And it's like, well, I don't know. We'll have to see how much damage is on the floor. Does it need to be sealed? Okay. So odors, smells are a big deal. Okay. When, you know, there's those folks, you know, that say, hey, you know, cook some cookies, you know, it'll hide everything. No. Osium will do a lot of masking, but understand that's temporary. And unless you're going to spray Osium or bake cookies every time that buyer comes through the house, that's going to pose a problem. That's an unrealistic expectation. So just address the issue. That way it's addressed, and you don't have to try and negotiate that later, and it doesn't become a further issue. Again, why? Because it translates into dollars. And it's not dollar for dollar. Okay, people negotiate $3 for a perceived value of repair. Okay, you know, if it costs, you know, $1,200 to paint, they're going to negotiate, you know, $3,500. Why? Because that is the perception of negotiation: time, effort, energy. So keep that in mind as you're considering, what do I do with my house? What am I going to do to best prepare my house for that buyer? All right. Okay. Sometimes, I know, it's our house, it's our home, it's our kingdom, and we personalize it. And we will do things to a house that we like. And as an example from a couple of weeks ago, you know, we went in and they had purple walls. Well, purple walls are nice if you like it, but that's not going to be something that a buyer's going to like, because your tastes are probably dissimilar. In fact, we found nobody out of all of the buyers who went through that house that liked the purple walls. Once it was painted, the perception was night and day. So when we talk about that, personalizing, right? Okay, so be careful about the personalizing when you get ready to sell a home, because unfortunately you have to depersonalize your house. Make sure that it fits what we call inside the box for the greatest amount of buyers. In other words, if I have a box and we have 100 buyers that match what you are selling as far as your home, we want to make sure that we maximize what these 100 buyers are going to be most interested in. All right, because by personalizing, many times you start to diminish, well, you will diminish the number of buyers that are going to be truly interested in your home. Then the fewer the buyers you have, many times, the lesser the price you're going to look at. Now, yes, you only need one buyer that's interested at your price. Okay, I get that. However, you definitely want to try and market to the masses. You want to try and hit as many of those buyers as possible, because if you can ping multiple offers, that again improves value, improves price. So keep that in mind. All right, let's talk about staying in during showings. There's some sellers that say, hey, I want to stay in the house while they're showing the home, or I don't want to leave. It's raining outside. I don't want to leave the house. Leave your house. Leave. Go away. You know, have the agent, you know, say, hey, can you call or text me? Let me know when you've left the house. That way I can come home. Okay. If you need to, make sure that all your appointments are scheduled. You know, hey, you know, 1 hour notice, 2 hour notice to show the home. All right. That way gives you a bit of a heads up. Leave your house. There's nothing worse than trying to walk through somebody's house and you know that the seller is watching you. And so they're less inclined to look around. They're less comfortable just kind of talking and speaking aloud, because they don't want to offend you, right? So they're not going to say much, and which means that they're going to be more of a hurry to get out, right? Because they don't want to be watched. So they're going to go to a house that is vacant and spend their time there and talk about it, maybe even talk about your house at that other house. And then questions may come up. They're like, well, you know, I just don't remember. Yeah, but you know, yeah, let's not worry about that house. It happens all the time. Leave your house. Do not stay in your house. Leave. Okay. And just make, you know, arrangements with the agent to help, you know, like, hey, we're done with our showing. You can get back in. All right. Those are seller items. Okay. Now, sometimes if you're selling it for sale by owner, okay, or if you're working with a discount brokerage just to quote unquote get it on the MLS, pictures will be an issue. But many times it is the agent side, right? So remember, more than 87%, it's closer to about 92% of buyers are looking online for their home first. So their first impression then is, what do the pictures look like? And if you've got pictures that are dark, they're gloomy, you got clutter all over the counters, the toilet seat is up. I have a book, and it's the 100 Worst Real Estate Pictures. And it was given to me by a client because we were so emphatic about ensuring that the pictures were spot on. It took them a couple of different times, a couple of different, depending on, what time of day to get the most amount of natural light, to make sure that it truly depicted the home in its true sense, okay? Just understand, bad pictures, people will dismiss. They'll dismiss time and time again. You need to have quality, high resolution pictures. And, fisheyes are one thing, but to distort a room, and many people, they want to try and get this whole room in there. But the problem is then the perception is that, hey, this room is huge. And then the people come out and they're like, what happened? Did you throw it in the dryer? I mean, it's not even a third the size of these pictures. So be real with your pictures. Now remember, with pictures, it is better to have fewer pictures of higher quality as far as what you're showing and what you're trying to depict versus just a whole bunch of really bad pictures. Well, I'll just throw a whole bunch of pictures on there and they'll get the idea. No, they won't. Okay? They'll dismiss it. And for a variety of different reasons. So make sure that when you're looking at it, does it show value? Don't have a picture on there that makes a room look small. Just delete that picture. Use something else because cameras can't always capture the true essence of a room. I'm not saying, hey, don't throw it in there because it's a small house or a small room. It can't capture it. So don't use it. Use ones that are complementary so that you can attract those buyers to the house and, be able to, at that point, then they can justify in their minds, is this a good fit for us? Okay? All right. We also talk about videos, right? Videos is an agent thing. So with the advent of YouTube and Facebook and all of these platforms where you can post videos and including private websites and everything else, videos are a fabulous way to help a buyer fully understand your room and your house and how it flows and special amenities that a picture could never possibly do. A video with a commentary, somebody walking you through the home, highlighting some of the key elements, and then also keep them short, all right? So then we also come back to here when we talk about these, and this is basically, let's see if I can do this sideways. Incomplete work. I don't know if I'd make a good teacher, you can't really read that, but anyway, work that's not incomplete, or that is incomplete. If you have little miscellaneous projects that have been kind of dragging on, finish them, okay? You don't want a new buyer coming into your house and say, wow, this is a great house, but it's a fixer. Look, I got to fix this, I have to fix this is not done, this is incomplete. Oh, that doesn't look very good. Don't be a Harry the homeowner. If you're going to be selling your home, you need to have the greatest appearance. If your skill sets, even though I have seen the greatest passion in the world to want to do a good job, but they don't have the skill sets, it is cheaper in the long run to make sure that it is done right. Because then it has the greatest eye appeal and buyer appeal to your home. If you need those vendors, go to bentleycontractors.com. There's a vetted list there. Go to there. It's free. There's no sign in. Log in, or you don't have to log in, but call the contractors. Just tell them we referred you so you get our pricing. Okay? So incomplete work, that is a takeaway. That sits on a seller side. Okay? Now let's talk about, as far as choosing the wrong agent. Key things are, sometimes you choose the wrong agent, you choose an average agent. So if the agent just does kind of the basic ABCs, they advertise themselves instead of your house. They go ahead and they put the sign up, they'll put it in the multiple. They may run an ad for it or not if they know how to. They get down and pray that it sells. That's it. That's their marketing plan. Put a sign, put a key box, put it in the multiple. Boom, there we go. That is the wrong agent. You need to have somebody who has that backup plan, somebody who's got a very distinct system for selling, and that is absolutely key for you. That includes high quality pictures, getting a really good video, even with the commentary, right? You want multiple landing pages. And you might say, George, what the heck is that? Okay, well, there's a lot of homes that have multiple features to it that aren't just generic. Okay, well, a standard 2-story house, no frills, no throws. Okay, well, you can get away with one landing page. But what if you have space for a mother-in-law or an accessory dwelling? What if you have a large detached garage or a garage that is set up for a shop, somebody for a handyman or somebody who likes to, do woodworking or metalworking? Do you have a house that is truly set up that it can have an au pair, okay, or a home office? There's a lot of different options and different ways of marketing a house to different demographics. And that's the one thing you want to ask your agent. Hey, what demographics are you going to market to? Because that comes in as a key element so that you're able to, again, attract buyers, okay? Staging, that actually kind of goes on both sides, but I leave this one more on the agent side. You need to make sure that they have a staging professional, even if it's a professional that comes in and helps you organize your house. Here, get rid of this. Let's move this over here. Oh, we might add this, so that it has the highest and greatest appeal to the buyers that are coming in, so they can visualize themselves in your home, which is the goal, okay? You may want to make sure that as people are doing drive-bys, you want to have a talking house. You might say, what in the heck is a talking house? Talking house is whether it's through SMS where they get a recording, they can dial into a phone number with an extension, get a recording, they can hit a QR code, get a recording. Might be an FM modulator there that has pre-recorded, talks about your house. Hey, welcome to this absolutely amazing Crossings home in Woodinville, where it's brand new construction. They go through all of the features so that you can hear them, right? The same thing that goes with the SMS. Flyers are becoming a little bit more old school because we all have smartphones. So they text to this number, they get the video, they get a landing page, they get the schools, they get the demographics, they get the crime report, they get everything that they need instead of a bunch of paper that they're going to throw in the back of their car and they may or may not remember as they're driving by. But they're going to remember that because they have all the information, pictures, video, schools, demographics, all of that. That's another feature using today's technology that should be there that helps to get that home sold, right? The same thing with when you look at their marketing, is their marketing about them or is their marketing about attracting buyers? Because really all you care about is attracting buyers, not the advertising they do for themselves. You might say, George, what does that have to do with selling my house? Because if they're worried about selling themselves and attracting buyers, they're not selling your house. And that is what you need to keep in mind. So this is I've chosen the wrong agent if they're not doing these things. Keep that in mind. Over here, price. Curb appeal. When we talk about decluttering, cleaning your house, making sure we get all the bad smells out of it, right? We have staging. We want to make sure that we get all of the professional pictures, videos, and everything up to snuff. It's a joint relationship. And if as a seller, if your home is not selling, take a look at this. Have you accomplished these things? If you're an agent, working with an agent, are they doing these things? Because these things in combination are allowing what buyers then see online to want to come out and take a look at your home. Because remember, if you're getting a lot of showings and no offers, right, your home is basically 3 to 5% overpriced. If you're not getting a lot of showings and you're not getting any offers, realistically, you're 5 to 7% overpriced, okay? If you're just getting drive-bys and you just get a showing, but mostly drive-bys, or you get inquiries, but you don't get any showings, all right? You are anywhere between 10 and 12% overpriced for the current market. People don't like to hear those numbers sometimes, but those are the metrics that we see. So keep that in mind. If you want your home sold, take a look at these. Keep these in mind as you are doing your mindset of what do I need to do to get my home sold? In other words, why should that buyer buy my house, including all other options, including doing nothing at all, right? You need to answer that question. All right. Again, my name is George Moorhead. Hopefully you've found this valuable. Give me a wow or a heart. Give me any questions, feedback, and whatnot. Share it with your friends if you feel this would be valuable. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. You can give me a call or shoot me an email or post it on Facebook. In the meantime, have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.